About my shame, you could. About my shame. Watch that, man. Let me break a brain. Just snap. I was not about to say, not to say, Okay, let's go. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Bam bam ba-da-dum, bam ba-da-da-da-da-dum, bam. Get into, get into. Yeah, you have it. Yeah, you have it. Yeah, nothing, yeah, nothing. Yeah, nothing. Yeah, nothing, yeah, nothing, yeah, nothing. Yeah, but yes, them songs said it.
Yes.
All right, so I just for you don't say we know say yeah if you cross by Mr. P and Mr. Y I feel no more year juma if you na ko hansa. Aha na ajabe he na obi ye Mr. P fatu sumai. Mr. P fatu so no no ne kura computer ni mu ebiebie mu de ato so. Nipa bibira adwom say still Mr. P and Mr. Y bi oba bi nti agya yeso Mr. P and Mr. Y fatu so ma me hwese ebetimi anya Mr. P fadum so bia yi ne to so na me hwa de. 1 2 3 1 2 3. Okay, Mr. P di ato so. Mr. P na dia to so yi na nka me hu ye Mr. P na adwuma ye organ na yi Daniel ye adwuma hu se me say pia computer bia enso agya ye te America dia Mr. P and Mr. Y ye adwuma still ye dia nse pia computer ene be mo hu se manfo no omudi ngwasiafo achi no omadwene no nhyeda nya adwuma se nto mo tinyo ebrase. But anyway, with that said, let's move very quickly. And then your mano edoso. And you may be doing komo bebre afa and somewhere a chair go home. We are going to have a conversation by na Bank of Ghana and somewhere the atuja gold board and some still are no yenye so because corruption related issues. And we won't treat it business as usual. Say obiaba be cambrofo. Na no nti eno no esi di ho komo into totality. And the Bank of Ghana Governor BOG Ekoko PMO a Public Accounts Committee. Honorable Abna Osei Asari Ebusa a question. Now there is a difference between all propaganda on radio and TV for the people to consume, and when you appear before a public committee. Now as a what the other facts and figures Ekoko Cheromwa yede sa nkomo ebebremo. Now, when it comes to corruption, Oforiato, you bedim common say Attorney General and Crown, why is serious say or be have a conversation, and I said, or try the people in the court of public opinion. Instead, so be court no akwa prove beyond reasonable doubt no. Ora dom levo den sembia ba betudwafa ora ne ho nkro ba. Dom levo say ora no wan hyeden hunu so. Don't forget that Dom Levo about corruption or more fight corruption in this country of ours, you know. Dom Levo a corruption anti-crusader. Papa. Na no ka ora ne ho. Ene wo kire mu a ora no emunsuo no. It is not oraling. Yebetie the Dom Levo kan ene ahwe the response Attorney General Edemano. Now COVID-19 Yera John Dramani Mahama Kachire said Nabai no etcha. They've repealed COVID-19. Makacham say Abai we the propaganda ye the etche the actual work in the say oh you know. So clearly but when you subject it to a critical proof, COVID-19 no more repeal ampa. Now more repeal other na companies we either so a charge COVID-19 levy. And ye bet as of on the 8th of a year January, which is this year, yeah. But before me born January, me want say enkrofo make a fast about a year me date yeah. So let me quickly change the date. By this time, me do one more did matter. Any date is on the 12th of it's yen change the date no na afi manfo no ho to yes sir. One de no be year a year fast. Say na the date kura nye. And then so your Monday and now Wednesday. Okay, Monday. Let's go. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So today is Monday. So ladies and gentlemen, the date has been changed and it is working properly. So on the 12th of a year, January 2026, and then year show no. Questions are here, and we are going to ask critical questions. Say a name, no, because COVID-19 11 yes, see a chum. But auto adia shall receive. So is it still appearing there? If it is still appearing there, GRE and the edge, mind you, per the GRE records every day beyond COVID-19 levy yen over 9 million Ghana cedi and almo collected. So from January 1st to now, so COVID-19 year that so edge GR. Abayinsi were tremo in the media, but behind the scenes, you know, or J COVID-19 levy and the ever has answer no near the home como. When you COVID-19 levy every mois, can oforiata enti manfo ya kwakase MPP are more corrupt than the NDC. But when you subject that notion, that image to proof, to strict proof, say between NPP and NDC, one would the most corrupt party, not just in the media, but the record shows. And he had cut down memory lane. I can't say Gen Z for no. Bebre na nim dia koso from President Kufuor taking you over. Victor Solomon mo, Chachuchi Katamo, Kwame Pepramo ni adi. Omu nyina. And then he had cut down memory lane till today. And the record shows that till today, there is no single MPP appointee yet jailing for the act of corruption. No single MPP appointee. From 1992, ABC a year 2026, which is I think 34 years into a year democracy. So 34 years into democracy, no, and you be prove say between MPP and NDC, the most corrupt party a year NPP, but a year NDC. That not said, no. With that said, Yankensi should be as a MPP nye breeding grounds for criminals. Eti party no obia support obia wawi amanfo ne sika. Se manfo no ema opportunity se brabe somo mo. Manfo no ye the honor se brabe somo mo. Na oba na se oba be wia wo mo a, don't think that obetimi get a cover within the party MPP nye no tini ete. Eti ene no se obia ye boni wo mo a, ye beche no regardless, we don't care. And as will be a manfo ni sika hiding behind the political party NPP. NDC should go ahead and jail them. Because any day, anytime, if Kwefri Faya Metiye, se minya opportunity so manfo no, I should be courageous enough to say service to humanity does not end at the time where we were juma. It must end with accountability. If it's a service, why your manfo ni ye usumomu ya. So to me babe bua contact chere manfo ne se ye de afija se chere east share wonsa agona ka ho wiamoase ka ho bedmase kokotia sua kena moso kuna dawu tabre jamase ye de ni nyina amawo na se ye de mawo wi a so to me wie na be bua contact chere manfo ne se weni ye de maame e bia MPs common fund mi nya sei me di sei na hwe manfo no manfo ni nya says when to me amusa akonta no a na aban sa show mu a you cannot hide behind MPP eti ene ye bedi sa enkomo no into detail. Bank of Ghana edin sembia betudwa ene reporter yensaka elikiaba yensaka has to do with some reforms about Bank of Ghana edeba efa microfinance institution ho omo friend recapitalization of microfinance. Now, ehunu bi penti aboasere wa agije ne ba no wayi nani ato nchen. Clearly Bank of Ghana say oba be recapitalization. You be busa the necessary questions. Say policy na wo mo de ba no. What is the intention behind the policy? Is it that ye je microfinance na kwhye enkrofo bi nsa? Because supposedly you again say omo sia no, omo ye NDC 4, abi omo ye MPP 4. You be busa sa questions in yana so omo ye recapitalization. How are they going to safeguard indigenous companies? Are you be nano say nano you see a recapitalization of bank ye a clean up you busa all the relevant questions. But before say metwa so mame emamo public announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, Madaruma, public announcement edi kind say last year fake dollar noa a year national security kwache no still yenhunu baby a fake dollar no afa report MI wo monchire ye say sika no omukofa national security japa mukofa ye no ewon if they think it is business as usual say ye beba ni aba o mabekto to ne magu say sika no ewon still no over 12 containers of dollars in the gold no a omukochi wo poku ase no national security Madaroma ewo gold bars ewo he obi na afa akosi ana obi afa gold bars na di no accountability jakwa gold bars na ewo he wontimi ma me kan kire manfo ne say there is gold bars na o ma meye account to them baby a gold bars na fa we can only assume say na mawia said moda suna gold bars in dollars emu amebu akonta emu cedis ma amebu akonta dia we can only assume say mawia na yempese ye be assume say mawia eti Madaroma national security momra me account to the people gold bars na amuko hunu ye dollars na amuko hunu opoku ase no momra me account to the people. Please come and account to the people. Yesere mu a muntimi mfa gold bars nkogumu dem muntimi fa dollars 12 containers of dollars enkogumo dem na yen cover business as usual yebebusa mo 1 year down the lane a ye to me ma mo sa gold bars in dollars no e wo he. The relevant question we are asking is sa dollars in gold bars no me pa mo cho e wo he national security e wo he. So mo antimi anchire mu a we assume that Jakwane ne nkrofo awia. That is the only assumptions that can come to our head. It is a Jakwa when nkrofo awia sika we dia. You must account to the people where the monies are, where the gold bars are. We won't treat this business as usual. It is not the first public announcement. Now, second public announcement. DVL once and some say baba before DVL no. TikTok minister Wadaroma mienka was say ene mene wo kasa no. Sofo line. Why you say pika. Now, I'm say 2 days ago, the whole place went. A doom fui. Our brand TikTok minister Asha Wellington Boot say so combat here. Kumasi nyina doom no. Na TikTok minister Asha Wellington Boot and the combat. No other than TikTok a year samba. Now, I have made a resolution. Say he is our guy. I probably won't touch him. But with that said, I think he should get serious with the job a little bit. Agrono adorso. As a governance in TikTok and social media, there are serious issues. Kumasi Yusum, Kumasi na bide chire winti. Dr. Frank Amwakoine. Waje fans who TikTok ni bi washa Wellington Boot ni Kambu. Aje fans who TikTok ni bi get to the work and work. Stop the propaganda with time. It will catch up with you. If you don't stop the propaganda with time, it will catch up with you. Minuano, we yami okay. And this in our motion mukwa sante form emrante mabawa. It is the fact that Mama Aquine, I am not in any shape or form willing to drag you down. So that is not my. But the way I would dear grown door so juma. And what's a man for not gonna say, man for the pediatrics. Minister Washa Kambu, you combat, mortar combat, no nam. It you know the difference. It's okay, but the pertinent issues of developing the region, I think we must get serious with some of these issues. You move away. Now, DVLA boss, Minuano, Logas, any or more enya a year fracas be yanko cheese and some way, my address. Thank you. Okay, I catch them say, oh, Mr. P, you free so? Aha, Mr. P, you free so. Into Yanko, Mr. Yanko.
Training, say a shy, won't say normal plate, won't some baby. And aba it no nanti ase nye adwuma sebe Ghana de mrani ye adwuma nti ehun se de bedan Ghana emranimfo na omoman kwan ne ye de ase adwuma na ye number plate na ye bo adwuma bi enu ha ye ka number plate ho ya bo Ghana plate since 1995 aye de numbers we mu start say eba. Even before 95, but since 95, up to date, it's about 30 something years. I mean, Jumana 31 years in it. It's a Nabas years some later. As my can say, Abani Maya, young Kosuanya Juma. Go to your domo hangina. Well, we are just a few people because he ain't me finding in a Makota, young Koha. It's about 46 companies, almost 50 companies. I registered. You share your taxes me a baby and yes, Ghana by or try money or more common day. Okay. Into your panacho, fire Juma Mayan. Na young Koya Juma, as a Moses. Now you are in Abeda Ghana, a son say Ghana Unia Jumaya, war mobile. Your panacho, when you share your ma, you bush in na, did I can you say, yes, Reno, on my quiet near Concoya Juma, name where Ghana number please. Okay. For now, almost all my day bano, and young mammy do ye. Okay. That day, my boy back with me, so ya na ye. Na ye then and then you'll be a fetch. ekwakobo anase de ama nipa baakofo pesebi Ghana nye nipa baakofo dia nipa baakofo nidi eye kakra sa nipa baako ya ye kan ya so no oka ye hu bi enti de enti no no kwa fa kire ekoje e je se ne o ma bi nkoyie ye mfa nkonti ba enkasa ye nye dede na emo ye de beba eja amamranimfo no ya sere omo se ye nsada ye nsayem e pacho omo ma ye nko ye adwuma.
Okay, that means or the political party
yes, or person the room. Na yensu adwuma no non-political because ye ha no yenye politics we adwuma no mu.
Okay.
Aha, enti yesre aban ma yenkonko ye adwuma na obia eni beje said ye te na.
Okay, but your association FM sir.
VEMAC, Vehicle Enforcement Association of Ghana.
Okay.
VEMAC.
All right. Okay. That's super.
Yo, we VEMAC for omo omo free court and ibusa omo. Na omo say obi eje nipa baako for so we NDC ni it was the contract ni nyina na dem. Lucas, you are my brother, so probably I wish I could speak to you on these matters behind the scenes. But since it borders on national concern, then yendi sound common in public. Lucas, first of all, minim the BMWJ company no contract na free a lot of people some Ediama a one person. I want to so it won't augur well for your government. And you know, some of these mistakes for the interest of the larger group of Ghana, I'm not interested in playing politics with it. It won't augur well. But even aside that, it won't augur well. Menyanti Asa will say from 2023, 2024, 2025, Obi are registered in Kebian on some famra a year DVLE. Now, I'm beginning one mentia say no may re-registration because money a digital information on their cars. So first of all, if money digital information on their cars, technology and I'm person with the key or mischief. So Lucas, so person will key or mischief with technology. You don't cause a lot of problems for the people. Because the only reason tell person we hear digital appearance you say ope say manfo ne ho ntomo na wo say ka kire nipa o ma register several millions of Ghanaian people o ma register o ka 2023 2024 2025 say o mo nsampu emra DVL emeye day. So if it is about keeping of records and data, how can you use technology to make the life of the people simpler? I'm giving you a suggestion and I think you must look into it. Adebako Alogas unu timbetimiaye ne say mo the fiscal copy of DVLA records on these cars. Let somebody build a software. Sa software no. Enu bia na mo begina so upload the more records na mo wono. Na mo dia gu sa software ne so. Now let the people sit in the comfort of their homes. Na omonso enko sa platform kro ya so upload the omoka registration document se form seal se there you where it gives you all the necessary document no omontwa omoka number plate as including omo picture verification. They can verify their face on the app. Omo upload it say even sika 17 na so omo samra DVL. There is no point say obemo madba DVL. As part of the registration, maybe you can link it to mobile money, BBA, so it can go straight to mobile money for them to pay using their own mobile money. So they buy and cause inconvenience, massa uncrofoise, Obia sorting free fee and some red DVL, and cause huge traffic, huge inconvenience to the people. When you want to cure a mischief in the society, you don't cause inconvenience with the mischief you seek to cure. Mesre, Logas. Let your technical people look into this. You should build a software. So software, no more records are more already on cars. Let them upload it on those platforms. So they may synchronize information. It is a meme car and a winning records, digital records on it. The obey say more money can upload more information. More one fiscal one. Said the obey me more platform so. Na metwa form C no upload. Metwa manim a verify. Mede me ID card aka ho. This is doable. This is not rocket science. This is doable and you must be able to do this. So Lucas, please, don't cause inconvenience for the people. I know you have good intention. you want to change. Many what dinkomo behind the scenes. Ever even our car registration. So I car registration, you know, a year. Your day a year 10, your day 5, 25, 26, etc. I personally have a problem with it. Because the psychological impact of Ghanaian people when it comes to buying car. Obi betimi ato car. No what they see wo ontwi. Wa register me the 25 for church ontwi. The moment I will register you 25 no car that yempe. Obi nso betimi the DV abo ho atwi ne saa more than 5 years. And the reason people refuse to register their car and use DV for so many years is because of Sadia no. Because the moment I register no, it devalues the car. It is not person cure some mischief by taking away 25, 26 in the adena. I am on the same page with you. I think we should do that. But in the course of doing that, you don't need to create an inconvenience for people. You're really behind, you're really beyond their way. You say, Obi answer for the camera, Nyansa be anim. Dogas, Nyansa be anim. You must be able to cure the mischief without causing inconvenience for the people. That is what I will say for today. Now, young call your first topic. So, your first topic has to do with a year Bank of Ghana. You retrieve information be where a information you retrieve from Bank of Ghana. Leaked report. Chelsea Bank of Ghana about a year so-called recapitalization of microfinance institutions. Ye name the SCO or Maimu Pay. A very troubling turn of a year event. It raises serious questions of transparency and accountability. As you share the true intentions behind a year Bank of Ghana recapitalization. Mobekaya omaye bi pain. And on a year banking sector no emuye mere. Kufuado beto ya and no try say all chaos and mischief no esako kose enough problem. So despite the loud announcement, a Bank of Ghana tries to obey no. But before that, COVID-19 levy. Yet to Chroma say my year John Dramani Mahama be catcher so we repeal COVID-19 levy. But my catcher says I buying we no catcher of such a sura form. And with time the people will get to understand say abino kill net abain bia and chain. Yet to Chroma year John Dramani Mahama be catcher so COVID-19 akufuado de no de buy and a scam we are manfo no. So we are manfo no dia wono a repeal. O repeal from a year last year November basin there. Yebusa Yera John Dramani Mahama say is GRA aware say enkrofo da so charge COVID-19 levy ana. Yen hwese a video wi.
This is a COVID Health Recovery Levy Repeal Act 2025. And it's my honor and privilege to sign to repeal the COVID levy. Promise made, promise delivered. And today is the 10th of December, 2025. Sign.
10th of December 2025. Anna President Mahama a repeal COVID-19 levy. A repeal ye no ani it must take effect. Semene wo kasei. Yera John Dramani Mahama so a repeal COVID-19 levy. But just so as of today, despite the announcement, the presidential declaration, say COVID-19 health recovery levy no were repealing no. Ghana for gusu tria and now omuntria. Semene wo kasei. A minor glitch. This is not transitional hiccup. Where a daylight robbery because GRA say every day biano munya over 9 million Ghana cedi every COVID-19 levy home. It is you see a repealing as of 10th December, 11 December, 12 December, 13th, 14th, 30th, 31st, Yogusuje up to 1st January, 2nd, 3rd. ABC a nay on the 12th. Yankoni yankoshe a nay on the 12th. Sir, okay. Yanjwa diwi. where a VIP for receipt, which is a year 2nd January 2026. Where I see here COVID-19 level no a John Domani Mama say web repeal no ti yemo yensema no wamu go so air charge and GRA is aware ye repeal adhere as of 10th December still you go so edge. Who is benefiting from this air discrepancy? Why pocket in a sesika way air core? Why is the public being kept in the dark on this? And this one is not me saying the numbers don't lie. They say GRA say every day on daily, every single day, Biano, or more generating not less than a year 9 million. So if 9 million Ghana cedi from 10 for no a year no, basic ne, or more so charge COVID-19 level no. Yenhwe sa a year receipt way from Better Shopping. Better Shopping on the 6th of January, which is about 6 days ago. Still our COVID-19 level now, a year John Dramani Mahama so we're repealing no. Better Shopping eda so edge COVID-19 level. So see a year calculation within a space of a year 12 days into the new year, GRA receiving not less than a year 80 million Ghana cedi. That is by calculation. Because the levy was no longer in law, because the government had already declared it abolished, because the people were told, said the burden has been lifted. This is pure thievery. Where is the money going to? Where is the money going to? Eko obibotomu ana. Sensu GRA ama instructions say COVID-19 level yentwam. Ana still no companies be charged, which is VIP, which is Better Shopping, among other companies. I intentionally did not hide their name because these companies must be called to order then and must be brought to the book and here treating business as usual. The levy is no longer in force. Why is it being collected? But a kionet by omukasa shesura shefom omukasa shefomwa shesuro enyamena meka yes anti John Domani Mama bio yenti bio COVID-19 away yenti bio.
And it's my honor and privilege to sign to repeal the COVID levy. Promise made, promise delivered. And today is the 10th of December, 2025. Sign. Purported to provide free water, free electricity, free food, and a lot of things. And to the shock of most Ghanaians after the pandemic was over and after the elections were over, government slapped Ghanaians with a 1% value-added tax, ostensibly to recover what it's supposed to have spent on the COVID pandemic. Ghana continued to remain one of the only countries where we're being taxed for a pandemic that had passed. And so during the election, we promised that when the NDC comes to power, the COVID levy is one of those who repeal. A lot of Ghanaians have disliked this tax, and today I'm pleased that on the 10th of December 2025, I've signed the repeal act to remove the 1% COVID levy.
Abayne se were repealing, but behind the scenes were COVID-19 level. Eti mo bia nyini. Makachelom say abayne wo kasa hwesoro reform. But still what the goodwill of the people and when we wash Kambu, red, gold, green be a trending near dear or more in the picture no yi ni ade. Now what Tim Wadwin say when him said the relevant issues when you interest cry. Will you concert no mokai first one or buy and also no continent in a motor sunu twini a so. But what I know is that with time sa a year honeymoon na or moody a better Ghana for any so the Ghanaian people will come to see through the veil of a year theatrics and will be pierced, and we will see it clearly. And the COVID-19 level, omu chatro, and yano correct. Now you moving away from COVID-19 levy. Makacham says a fee, and Bank of Ghana. A buying ye a tura buying. They spend so much on propaganda rather than the reality on the ground. Still, but it doesn't shock me. I don't care. The NTN shock him, they say, a year, me and Kasama buying. MPP are buying a buy. Akufo-Addo nneoma bebre while appointing 110 ministers, I had a problem with it. I kept on complaining. Now omo edi matem. I didn't really bother because na me hunu nneoma nkofo ebre na hu. And exactly what I see with this government. And they omo se makase akire yimaka bia etie oforiata eti afa na madwena bafi. There be mo na madwene nye papa. You have been conscientized to believe what you want to believe. At what point do you want to believe it? Ejene se me kabiti oforiata wo se da bia afa na madwena bafi. Wo na afa na wadwena bafi. If se me kaseti oforiata aban. Munya bi bo efri XYZ. Me kaseti aba wo mia munya bi bo free XYZ. Me kaseti Akufo-Addo munya bi bo free XYZ. Still must Okatakyie adwene be fie ne because afa no wo ka bia ti oforiata. Wo no wadwene nya adwuma, so you have selective hearing. Anya me. So wadwene ye adwuma dia. Eni enka unya selective hearing ka beka se Okatakyie afrifa na aban wa aban mu 8 years wono omo koin. Your mama aban ya ba oye very critical of them. It has nothing to do with NDC or MPP. I am being me. And we are going to take you through the journey of this political history. Say between MPP, but before that, Makacham said BOG, Gold Board, Omon Kanokure. Mobekaya, almost share Jumabi, Emma Miaminia, a year obi of Asempa FM, extra RTI, Right to Information Bill. BOG, Mama Menja said, Obwa, a year Jumashe. Na BOD by so MPP for Boka, Gold for Reserve. Now, Gold for Reserve, no reporter BOG no ankasa de ne nhyahye ase 2024 no. Sa report ni enie. Nowhere within the report ana omo admit say a cabo bi wo Gold for Reserve ho. But Gold Board asemi ba yi. Omo timi aka me believe say MPP for Boka wo Gold for Reserve ho. Ana NDC for nso aba no omo to aka no so. Me ka kire dem say bibia say ni ho. And then Yamencha dia say when you're the house of propaganda, this is the house of records. It is a Okabibia, eso to me support it. And the Bank of Ghana governor, Ore Siama, ekoko PMO, a public accounts committee. Now, public accounts committee no koko PMO, he is supposed to provide records. A cabo ben ya bo. Only Gold Board namso MPP bobi did that one bobi. Yenko tie. Honorable Osasari, Abno Osasari, any Bank of Ghana interaction. Me we ka Bank of Ghana there. When I am governor, wouldn't him say record to Hosi Aboka, where it should be at your fingertips. It should be at your fingertips. And so Yebusa Bank of Ghana governor, Munti Komone said Yakoi.
I want to find out from you that 3.8 billion loss that you mentioned. Can I find it in your financial statements for 2024?
Madam Chair.
Adam, respectfully, you can't do that.
We Honorable Abino Osasari Busane said 2024. Samose losses no yenyan Gold for Reserve no. In your report one wa prepare what yaba. And here fan young conquer report ni mu say MPP are buying Gold for Reserve wa. Yentien komone said yakwe yenti.
Finally, I want to find out from you that 3.8 billion loss that you mentioned. Where can I find it in your financial statements for 2024?
Madam Chair.
Adam, respectfully, you can't do that.
Record. It's important for us to, especially when.
Governor, can you please show me where I can find the 3.8 billion loss in your
Madam
financial
Chair,
statements?
we will provide that to the committee.
No, because I have seen the 1.8 billion in your financial statements.
Governor,
I have seen.
Hold on. Honorable Abna Sasa to Boise. Governor, What prepare report to the aba? What the kind of man for no what say MPP aban ya kromfo. MPP aban ya corrupt. MPP aban mismanage economy to the point that ya boka 3.8 billion. And a man for no agedi. And they will appear before a year public accounts committee, which is House of Records and no propaganda. Honorable say Abena Osei is asking you a simple question of Governor. What reports now were prepared their banner? And here fan a loss in one amin konko can be. The Honorable Osei can what's the report to Abba MPP Boka? It's what reports now what their banner me pamucho. And here fan and a young ko namin ko can be. And also Ose Honorable Chair Yentian Komoni view Yentian Komoni.
Madam Chair,
Madam, respectfully, you can't do that.
on record. It's important for us to, especially when
Governor, can
Yes.
you please show me where I can find the 3.8 billion loss in your
Madam
financial
Chair,
statement?
we will provide that to the committee.
You will
No,
provide
because
it?
I have seen the 1.8 billion in your financial statement. I have seen
You will provide it?
I have seen the 1.8 billion stated in your financial statement, but I haven't seen the 3.8. So, respectfully, if you can show me exactly where the 3.8 billion Ghana cedis loss has been located.
We will provide that, Madam Chair.
Hey.
Respectfully. We will come back to the committee.
Governor, as for your banks, this is for 2024. I'm talking about 2024. It's on the website, but I can't find the loss of 3.8 billion Ghana cedis.
If it is, this is 2024. So you
The
wouldn't find
3.8
it.
you said was in, I have seen the 1.8 stated in your financial statement.
Right.
For the gold for oil program.
But that might be for the 2023.
No, it's
Right.
for 2024. Your 2024 financial statement is on your website.
Yes.
So I went there and then I checked. I saw the 1.8 billion loss in the, I saw the 1.8 billion loss in the financial statement, but I'm yet to see the 3.8 billion that you mentioned here in the financial statement.
Yes. So, Madam Chair, can we come back? Madam
Eti
Chair.
afi me kachira mo say MPP aban NDC aban no. It is dealing more with propaganda because otemanfo no adwena say manfo ni musa. So let us prosecute the MPP in the court of public opinion. No wonder say Attorney General person obekọ court o. Na da bia wode nenam ntentenwa nenam ntentenwa. Na ka me hu yi ka Bank of Ghana governor. Wanka se wa prepare a report. Wo se kaba. It is a kaba dia. And it is how you should be on top of issues. What's there be yama unko na afe na unko hwe ka no aba no ansa no aba beka. Na time no a wo di RTI report to ma obi no na ne mebie ka no wo. Ade ne frakadama mamuo tantan no mubu ni sa no. Ade ne dishonesty na manfo no nso adwene no medwene ho amenti asese ye bu omubu kata but the people cannot even see it. Ye bu manfo ni bukata wo asad na ye bu omubu kata but the people cannot see it. Ona what dia betu dwa se manfo no mo Friday say yaboka MPP aban yaboka wa appear before the public accounts committee ye busa a simple question governor kane wo he ne nyina ye nkan bi wo se wo ma menko ma mempini machibra me ka kire mo se frakadama mamu ne yebu a onnyi ntum but munya hunu ye nye problem media me hunu and at the right time I know some of you will also see it. So clearly, NDC are believing in propaganda and only capture the attention of the Ghanaian people much more. Now, I said, because Gen Z is phoning in I'm going to walk you through the nation's political history. Say you're corrupt, and NDC are corrupt. We need to walk ourselves through the nation's political history. Medical says Oforiata Wama Meyina Noah. It will be perceived as though Oforiata a kromfo, and to a far extension, NPP nso a Kromfo party. That is how come President Nana Addo Dankwa said the we ye tinti. Said the we ye so move Furiata and resign. Not even when 70-something members of your parliament a press conference and which you wouldn't and resign, you know. At the time wow pe and resign, you know. You need to impress on Ofuriata. So ombra no ombra meyina no. Other than that, the notion, the perception which is being created is that MPP are corrupt to the point that omo finance minister ntimi mma meyina no. Make a sense so from 1992 besine, there has not been a single MPP appointee jailing for the act of causing financial loss to the state or corruption. So Furiata Madia, ye ni any bargaining chip, ya bargaining power bia. I bet me say NDC ye corrupt. Etinana Kufado, with the greatest of respect. Untimi ma wunyane hide behind the idea of miyare, meyare. Politics perception is equally important as a reality. And the perception being created is that MPP are corrupt. Etikache unyane se womra. Omeyina no. I know say Attorney General when you're not going to fight corruption. Because if indeed Attorney General wants to fight corruption, then he can try Ofuriata in absentia. If they said the name Tamakulu, yeah, try no. Na said the name Tamakulu, said the name wow, I know ni ho. But you try no, jeli no. Abayi ba ye onye interested. Abayi also fight corruption. Obaye onye interested. Now the trail of prosecutions, the truth, woman said National Democratic Congress, ye fisa omo ye corrupt party. Because from President Kufuor time, ebesine, ye intimin for one single MPP nibian too, and ye don't when the NDC is in power, corruption thrives. When they are out of power, accountability catches up with them. If this is the time when MPP should be I am in support. Say any day, any time. Yanchua mungum. Me say any day, any time. If say MPP for baby we are at the Kenoforia tell your friend say Ababa friend say Minya Bay. Oh, a national service in your friend say give to your worry. Say give to your worry you. Say why you? Say Omaba Ababe we are Mount Fonisika. They should be arrested and be jailed. Any day, any time. Because MPP nye breeding grounds for criminals. Ye kwakwa sere tumi free manfo ne ho. Se ye pe tumi ne aba be so manfo no. Be bia no ye ka kire manfo no se moma ye tumi ne amra mewia mo. Manfo ne ma tumi se bra be so mo a, oma ye wo honor. They've given you the chance to be a minister. They've given you the chance to be a CEO. They've given you the chance to be a deputy CEO, deputy minister. And sa portfolio no na would need before. It is a nyamia wa domina ba betena sa akonwa ni mu a. Emu achede a wunya ye nchew because of wo ofe. Munyina mbedi adanse a mufra ban mu. Christmas hampers ana munya bio. Because those things were not meant for you. It was meant for the office. Emu sika gift ana munya bio. Because those things were not meant for you. It was meant for your office. In that same vein, if the people have honored you, se brabe somo na wunya mu adodo die say, na wuye greedy, overly greedy. Now say there be. Still now be use the position the people have given you to siphon money, steal money, to rob the people of the little they can also benefit from. Untimi man be hide behind the party MPP. Now fanko wiadie, and I'll be in support of that any day, any time. If it's a make one free family tia, se minya kwanya se meso manfo any day, any time wa. Be wia ese mitimi there any aban bia wote so. Se me baba so manfo no se me wia manfo no a jail me. Untimi nya sa na wo hide na akoye na mekokati deal and a plea bargaining 30%. Wo ye kromfo, you must be jailed. But the records also shows that between NPP and NDC, NDC is more corrupt than NPP. And not the umpel. The record shows that between NPP and NDC, NDC is more corrupt than NPP. And in America, we will take you down memory lane from President Kufuor era. Edebabesi a year and neya ye kasei. Every time I yedi to me bema NDC say omumra medi to me biano. Omu be free so no omu wia manfo ni say tam. Omu wia manfo to the point that ye jail bi am ya mo presidential amnesty. It yentimi en washe sa ankrofo we. Now all of a sudden they climbed the moral high ground. So during President Kufuor time, after Jeje Som ewie, several top NDC officials who served under the Rawlings administration were prosecuted and jailed for causing financial loss to the state. When you small cases, when you petty infractions, these were massive scandal. It costed Ghana millions of cedis. Now the first among them, Owura Kwame Pepra. Eti Owura Kwame Pepra ene de hei. Owura Kwame Pepra a former Minister of Finance. In 2003, down memory lane. In 2003, under President Kufuor, time was Uncle Kufuor sum a year or mine year. 20 million Ghana cedi causing financial loss to the state. In 2003, Kwame Pepra was jailed 4 years. So between MPP and NDC, if we are looking at the most corrupt party, it is NDC and not NPP. In 2003, Nyamenameka, the record is there. Quality grain scandal, it was there. We all saw it. Owura Kwame Pepra, former Minister of Finance, Uwie Najuma, Yenyina ye ya aware, say oko jail 4 years. Now, when you Owura Kwame Pepra free wa, to prove that between MPP and NDC, NDC is more corrupt than MPP. And your Owura Kwame Pepra nkwa ko jail. President Kufuor time, your friend Papa way a year Victor Solomi. Gen Z for na mabano. You must learn your history. Victor Solomi echo jail. Were properly convicted court. Convicted in the same quality grain scandal no, or survey time President Kufuor na emso man no pardon o said say was wo yare into man the pardon. It between MPP and NDC from 1992 ebesi ne. NDC is more corrupt than NPP. NDC ye mo makonya bia so momra medi o man so a wo mbe sore no ma wia o man say tam. Nobody is going to sit down for them to whitewash themselves and climb the moral high ground. Now, uyi omu free wa. Papa we your friend Dan Agbodakwi. Obaba ye, said the national chairman hopeful also. Minim so nya you minkai the memory. Former Minister of Trade. He was sentenced 10 years in jail 2007 for conspiracy, defrauding and causing financial loss to the tune of $400,000 to the state. It yet mean trauma NDC way and whitewashing home. Na ochina omo mekase omo na ye party a omo dwene manfo ne ho ene fine oforiata na am yenya ye enye oforiata na am yenya ye dia between MPP and NDC ope party omo ya mambofo omo ya akronfo ewia manfo ne pa anytime ye be ma omo tumi a from 1992 besi ne ye ntimi mfa MPP ni bia nto jail se wo ye kronfo en maka se Akufo do aban ne ye hwehwem na MPP ni bi ye kronfo omu a ya anti MPP ni say ya konfo party mo mfa ne nkoto jail ya no bia me hide we criminal don't come and hide behind a NPP ye na nanu mo ate no manga so mo te eme ye de akobokro no ye kwosere manfo ni tumi no nemum the record shows that opo mo ya kronfo pa wo Ghanaian politics mu a opo mo the record shows that omo wi amanfo no akose financial loss a Owura Dan Agbodakwi was convicted by a court of competent court of a jurisdiction. Anya attorney general DAB. Enti Dan Agbodakwi Gen Z for no. oko jail na yenyi eno emfiri ho na yen state on record owura Chachuchi kata between MPP and NDC, the most corrupt political party Owia Manfono. In 2008, former GMPC boss Chachuchi kata caused financial loss to the state. Emma ye jailino humanitarian grounds in the pardon, but Menowoka say Chachuchi kata was jailed for causing financial loss to the state. Now Ibrahim Adam, former Minister of Agriculture, was also jailed in connection with a quality grain scandal. So we cannot sit down as a nation and all of a sudden the NDC that we know, very corrupt bunch of people, would whitewash themselves and begin to climb the moral high ground and say, Wamona, Wamumokrono, and Yanokore. MPP is not a corrupt political party. The records are there to show. MPP is not a corrupt political party. They say President Kufuor era yede eye Chachuchi kata etum, yede eye Victor Solomon etum, yede Kwame Pepra etum, yede Dan Abodakwi etum. These are records. Ubufua, you can argue with your phone. The record shows that they are corrupt, they are thieves, they stole from the people, and these are public records. There is no single MPP person you did not add to jail for corruption. Now, Uyi Enufriwa, in recent times, under President Eye Akufo-Addo, Senokra na Ache, Jomama number 1, Efriso, in recent times, under President Akufo-Addo, many of you are aware, say Abu Gapeli, and Yamanameka, the records are there to show, say Abu Gapeli was jailed. Tienye, Mahama number 1 appointees, they were prosecuted for 772 million Ghana cedi scandal, the NCA scandal. Abu Gapeli could jail on it. So, Mrs. Awope between MPP and the NDC, the most corrupt political party, the records must show, the records must indicate that it is clearly not a MPP and a corrupt. NDC is the most corrupt political party in Ghanaian history. You can argue with your phones. I don't care. Ubufua won't say me the records na echere wo. Ma nkofa no baby a me the records ana echere wo. Eti obia me twantro entumfutro mu wani. NDC is corrupt. NCA scandal no. 5 individuals. Eugene Bafu Boni, former board chair of NCA, was jailed. Nyamena Meka, Makachremo. And Nyamena Meka, the records is there to show. Where Abu Gapeli. One Eugene Bafu Boni mo. They went to jail. William Tete Tiabi, Director General, Emma NCA. Alhaji Salifu Mimina Osman, Deputy National Security Advisor. Nana Owusu Ensao, Board Member. George Derek Opong. They were prosecuted in the roles of Omu player. Obia Oye corrupt between MPP and NDC. The record shows that NDC is more corrupt than NPP. In recent times, Opuni, Tienye, Tie Adeweyi, Opuni, and Collins Dada, Sedu Agongo, they were charged, prima facie case were found against them. According to prosecutors, over 40 million, 70 million, 98 million plus, and an SC Jeffrey or more. And then NDC, your prosecutor or more do some point, NDC now was so about war fighting corruption, or by was one to scandal, a one to a prosecution or so. Now, and a Thompson scandal, there were prima facie case against them. But Attorney General said on to us so. Ernest Thompson, SNET, causing financial loss to the state. And no, Attorney General said on to us what discontinue case, you know. Ope omo ye corrupter, Sedinam Tamakulu, at Yonu, were a member of the NDC, and court at jailino, still a NDC so monko fanema, Ufuriata so ma be topic. But NDC so monko fanema, M1 be serving a sentence. So the record shows that between MPP and NDC, Opo mo ya kromfo wi amamfo no enye NPP, enye NDC. Let nobody begin to brand the MPP as corrupt. Berikaka, your Okroma say venture capital, Daniel Duku, former CEO, and also your Niko Jina Court, Attorney General Bayeno, or say on to us. And the Ebeko heard the reasoning behind Attorney General say on to us. Total loss of 42.8 million. Attorney General say on to us. So between MPP and NDC, and Mofra, Gen Zs, ye pe the most corrupt we are mine pa and NPP, and NDC. Even in recent times, double salary scandal. President Akufo-Addo period. 30 NDC MPs collected double salary. Tienye, Akufo-Addo na nkasa so ye blame you. And you may be oba na ade be your friends and family. Ministers of state are no more members of parliament under John Dramani Mahama #1 for 4 consecutive terms. The MPP government took the matter, and what happened? Of course, President Akufo-Addo achew. President Akufo-Addo yesrew say no omusu nim so omo ba be wienti no ma nya omo hwi no se de you. Enye sadia. The record shows that double salary scandal no. Ye were members of parliament were mo je double salary. For 4 years, and they almost 1 year proponent of a year probity, accountability, and social justice. Probity, accountability, and social justice, but they were stealing from the people. They were taking double salary. And today, the same people want to lecture Ghanaians on governance. The same people want to lecture us on who is corrupt. NDC corruption is not mere allegations, and your propaganda, and your documentary. This is pure a yet documented history of our nation. Say between MPP and NDC. Opa omo cause financial loss. Omo defrauded the state. Omo procurement breaches, diversion of public funds, and repeated prosecutions. There is no one single MPP a year appointee at Wako jail since 1992 based there. It will be to me make us MPP a corrupt party. MPP a corrupt party. MPP will be a medical car. So being so under Akufo-Addo abai, will be there. Owia man for no. Attorney General should stop this behavior of plea bargain and makoje 30%. Now makoje na meji 60, na meji 30. Oya sa wo je 30% ni ade. Ana do make market for man say. Me musa Attorney General say. Sa 30% na aka no one na ekoche. Me de nyama na make. Attorney General say prosecutions ni bo ho beji mu 70, beji 1% plea bargain. But what you know na makola man so Attorney General the oye de ya koyesa say see the 30%, 70% ne ba. Ene na akọwiese bekwa akọwiese. Enyam na meka. Don market for man na eka. So Attorney General wo pe no match 30% nam so Attorney General de wonte sa. No so ka de che kura nso ye ka asema wonyi ntum wonte sa sai. Ti masan Attorney General ti. But the record shows that so obi awia manfo no a munjeli no. We are not a bunch of criminals forming a political party. Our political party was not formed to come and steal from anyone. It is a Hasman or Asamu Buffer Stockman, so a real man for no and your propaganda in the media. Monfan nem court. Namunko prove beyond reasonable doubt. we are man for na mama court in jail no. We MPP ni na so ne menya adwene on this position a ye wo wasem enya masem me say obi a ye man ne tumi so onso manfo no a we are manfo ne bia mo jail no. Now say ne be ye no hu no say attorney general ne nkrofo o monye wo madwene. Say wo mbe jail obi a no. We are going to move to our next topic of a year attorney general nkomobia. Omudi ye. La. Say mo be kai say omo ba ye na no omudi ora. Meboa. Winim. Ora no hwenim. But before see ebeko ora no so ye intercepted document be from a year Bank of Ghana. So document way shows that Bank of Ghana is trying to recapitalize or more bro for more can say recapitalize a year the Deben market. But Attorney General Domlevo ora. And this propaganda ayo mo de chen so mbe ye adwuma. Yehwe ora Domlevo ebisa question bi. Domlevo yanko.
Major concern about the ORA is that it is not going to be successful if we keep or maintain the same legal framework and institutional arrangements for fighting corruption. And my major concern about the ORA is that it is not going to be successful if we keep or maintain the same legal framework and institutional arrangements for fighting corruption and corruption-related issues. What am I talking about? As we speak today, or as you and me, we are having this discussion, to establish guilt against someone for financial crimes, the person, it must be proven by prosecution beyond reasonable doubt. And financial crimes or corruption and corruption-related issues are not issues that are very easy to establish beyond reasonable doubt. Because the perpetrators of this type of crime are very intelligent and sophisticated persons. And after receiving the proceeds of crime, they are also able to manipulate evidence, even including influencing the investigators and the prosecution, and at times even the judges. So it is not going to be easy. So I think the low-hanging fruit, which are not being plugged, is what my major concerns, are about. One, if we had changed the legal framework, said that for corruption and corruption-related cases of financial crimes, one does not need to prove beyond reasonable doubt. Once it can be established that Daniel is in possession of resources or assets that do not match his known sources of income, then the onus should shift to Daniel to prove to us how he or she got it, if it's a lady. So if we do that reverse burden or lifestyle audit or unexplained wealth, I am sure that alone can deter people who intend even stealing. And of course, those who have stolen, we can easily get them to refund the money to us and maybe punish them.
So we aye ora Demlevo. On some penny forecast and say wuntimi unioma wo se wo kashiri ana enye. The basic principle of law when it comes to proving for criminal cases, proving beyond all reasonable doubt. And the reason, the basic principle of law, which seeks to protect innocent people, is that it will be better, say we be saving hundreds of criminals, na than see one innocent person akoda jail. Tienye, it's a one innocent person ko jailer. That means we've not done justice to that person. So improving criminal matters, unlike improving civil matters, which is probabilities, balance of probabilities. Here you need to prove beyond all reasonable doubt. Domlevo ya aware said that is the basic principle of criminal cases. Nebomuno omuntimi omoniomanti. Ura Domlevo as a young shifty a year the onus the burden of proof no you're shifting free a year the prosecutor near fanko the accused said ye accuse when we find unfounded allegations you drag the person to court you have no fact you have no evidence against the person and the person now must come and explain unexplained wealth to the state. There is a reason here could prove even criminal case here. Court no maudi can establish a prima facie case. Because we don't want you to waste the court's time. There is too much cases as a court in the daily. Now, if we go the way now, Domlevo Kana, what then will happen is that Attorney General Biamus Okatakyie matoka the car no effect, medan effect, this, that. Adeacha no drag me to court. Or drag me to court, only evidence, only way, only fact. Then we catch a court and say, baby, I'm doing to improve my case. It's mama a year the accused numum improving why you only dying only car. This is a separate matter. That is why Iyoko is there. If you want people to explain a year or more wealth, acquisition of wealth, you can file a complaint to Iyoko. Organize economic and organize a year but when you go to court on the basis that somebody is corrupt, then you cannot shift the simple basic principle of law that he who accuses must prove. This is simple. This is simple. He who accuses must prove. What's the bien shifting the balance? Now, the entire moment to mean prove your case, you know. Attorney General.
Brother Demulovo, complain about the slowness of the investigation.
He's been consistent with that complaint.
Well, that is for me very disconcerting and very concerning. My senior brother Demulovo, complain about the slowness of the investigation.
He's been consistent with that complaint.
Well, that is for me very disconcerting and very concerning because their report was just bare-bone allegations, right? And I cannot take bare-bone allegations to court.
Okay, so when you're in America, if a year already Demlevo say yes, sir, the burden of proof. The only reason Domlevo is calling that the burden of proof should shift to a year the accused instead of the prosecution, and it say Domlevo more report the come Attorney General yes, some quasi report. Him a year ake and drone conconsa and the woman and a Yaman America. Attorney General no more some clean view.
Brother Demlevo, complain about the slowness of the investigation.
He's been consistent with that complaint.
Well, that is for me very disconcerting and very concerning because their report was just bare-bone allegations, right? And I cannot take bare-bone allegations to court.
Their reports were bare-bone allegations, and I cannot take bare-bone allegations to court. So it is not about shifting the burden of proof. Ora Demlevonim say, and your man or mojiji ye ora, or mo printing ye papers, akasi, or mo say ye papers, or new kuja 22 mirror of justice, or mo wasting your time. Any a yisa kwa ya wine ho a moral judge, a Martin Pebu, lawyer Martin Pebu. Or mo wasting your time, no, and consan quanum kuchi him, ensure him. Bare-bone allegations. This is the Attorney General speaking, not me. No Kwame Fifa-Mensah, you may not like me, but clearly I am not the one speaking. Attorney General said, "Ye Domlevo mo de ba ye no, eye sankwas nsimhunu manfo na beye what you say? Hwinim paper ten no mo printing no mo submit your mama no mo deceive your mama. Enyama na meka. Yenti Attorney General biu."
Demlevo, complain about the slowness of the investigation.
He's been consistent with that complaint.
Well, that is for me very disconcerting and very concerning because their report was just bare-bone allegations, right? And I cannot take bare-bone allegations to court.
Ora no insuanim. Okuya trosi ye benya 21 billion ama Ghana. Attorney General say insuani ora nim. just afi no kohwe na odi nsuo. But the Attorney General yemusa question. If these are bare bone allegations, why the press conferences? Huh? Because the public who deceive you. You, the Attorney General, under Article 88(3), is solely responsible for initiating a year conduct and conducting of prosecutions. But an Attorney General, every citizen in Ghana, Oba no aba be press conference. No jailing microphone. Utimi ka say a former national security coordinator or a part of the scandal. No one make a pronouncement to the effect that they are thieves. This is thievery. But Attorney General, you know that these are legal conclusory remarks. When a lawyer who is an Attorney General prosecuting a case begins to make pronouncement as though he is the court, before a pronouncement can be made to the effect that somebody is a thief or otherwise, it is only a court of competent jurisdiction that has the jurisdiction and the authority to make such conclusory remarks and pronouncements. Now, when we have an Attorney General who has the duty to prove the case in court, that's how Attorney General will make a conclusory statement like this is thievery. They are thieves. It is worrying. So if over 200 cases of alleged looting exist, the Attorney General is required to be investigated. But on our should be any. Now, young sorry for the Attorney General view.
21 billion. About how much do you realistically estimate that you can achieve for the country?
Okay, so let's start with the oral report. The oral report was in segments, and 2,000 and plus cases that you are talking about came out of the various segments. So, for instance, if you take the land, right? You take the land looting cases; they are one component, okay, of the oral cases. Not all of them. I can say this with certainty. Not all of them will end up, going to court, right? There will be some of them. There are some of them. We are. Realizing that the evidence, okay, because the oral report was a collection of allegations, a collection of complaints, and that is why I find it a bit disconcerting. When people like my brother, my senior brother Demulovo, complain about the slowness of the investigation.
He's been consistent with that complaint.
Well, that.
Attorney General, yes, Attorney General on another thing. Attorney General making remarks, which is very worrying.
We are doing offshore investigations. So I have foreign asset recovery companies, okay, or personnel that are helping me, experts that are helping me to trace assets abroad.
Okay.
Yeah. So we are doing that.
And you do them simultaneously with your investigations?
We are doing them simultaneously. If I assess a matter, okay, and have still responsibility, right, for your sector.
That's right.
Right. But when it comes to technical matters such as a construction project, you have technical people working on and advising the minister. So I don't know by what means a minister is going to be able to say that this IPC ought not to be paid because it is false.
Okay, so Attorney General, I make a comment, and this was in reference to the Siglimi issue. Now, the pronouncement near very worrying. Samseladi Anyani is asking him why or discontinue some of the cases or drop charges against the likes of my very good friend Collins Dada in the Siglimi issue. Now, Attorney General is talking about a year or dropping cases because a minister must be charged when some of the things, infractions, in here based on technical advice. I'll come and address that. But yes, Attorney General, briefly on this.
Opinion that this ought not to have gone to trial in the first place. There is no point wasting the state's resources in conducting a trial when I know that down the line, all right, the state is going to lose. That will be reckless. That will be professionally, and in fact, it will be unethical on my part to assess a matter, come to the determination that there is reasonable doubt, the evidence doesn't stand up, and then I say, okay, you know what, just so that I satisfy, the public, let this, continue. No Attorney General should be conducting himself or herself in that way.
Now, no Attorney General should conduct himself.
Great. Individuals who are associated with the NDC, do you regret your early decisions involving, nolly prosequi filings and the famous 60% bargains?
No, I don't. And Samson, you've known me for many years. If I don't believe in something, I wouldn't do it. And when I came into office, I did an objective professional assessment of all the pending cases. And remember, I keep reminding people that I was involved on the other side as defense attorney.
Muntie Adia Attorney General, Yabako reading the Constitution. Muntie Adia Attorney General. Attorney General said he was involved in the other side as a defense prosecution. Okay, so now Attorney General, Yenti Adia Obabeka.
Assessment of all the pending cases. And remember, I keep reminding people that I was involved on the other side as defense attorney, right? If I didn't believe in the innocence of my clients, I would not, in some cases, I would not have, participated in, their, as part of their defense team, okay? So I had an insider view of most of the things that happened. So for instance, you take, Sagleme, okay? Sagleme, by all standards, was poorly investigated, all right? And the charges were poorly thought through. I'm saying this with all due respect to the people who drafted the charges, to the, state attorneys who were involved. I believe in their professionalism and I respect, their knowledge of criminal law a lot, all right? In fact, some of them are better than I am when it comes to criminal law. But I did an objective assessment. And so I give the Sagleme case as an example. Now, if you look at the case, they were talking about $200 million, all right, of funds, that were misused or lost to the state as a result of the actions of the persons who were charged, including the Maden client, Collins Dowda, all right? Well, we did an assessment of it. Collins Dowda was charged with causing financial loss to the tune of $200 million. But Collins Dowda was in the ministry for a very short period. At the time that he was leaving, only $94 million had been expended.
Attorney General said, oh no, because now or insider knowledge, and then the boy concluded say charges near week. But the Constitution says something very different and it's very clear. Yanko read Article 284. Now yen read Article 284. Now already Article 284. Article 284 says that a public officer shall not put himself in a position where his personal interests conflict or is likely to conflict with the performance of his office. Tienye. Article 284. I say, where a public officer shall not put himself in a position where his personal interest conflict. So, Attorney General, no, a lawyer ma Collins Dowda, and then because now a lawyer ma Collins Dowda, now our insider report, and obey Attorney General, and we use only 2 years Attorney General and the track case in him onto us. Meanwhile, say a week here. It should have been the court which will say that evidence is enough. Attorney General using the discretionary powers within the Constitution, under the Constitution. But even in the usage of the discretionary powers, Article 296B, it talks about the use of discretionary powers. So when you are using discretionary powers, it must not be arbitrary, it must not be capricious, it must not be biased. So using privileged information, we gain as a defense lawyer to later drop charges as Attorney General it creates a perception of bias. So Attorney General now or defense attorney Emma Collins Dowda. Na ene waba be Attorney General. Wase wa drop a charges against Collins Dowda. Wase ya nyini say oye Attorney General oye fair. But he has forgotten. Says oye Attorney General no or dropping cases in one. Although a discretion so about dropping cases. But it violates the spirit of fairness. It undermines the public confidence. And it places the Attorney General in a position, a constitution, forbidden clearly. Was this Attorney General or your public officer? Now, be you show discretionary powers. It must not be arbitrary. It must not be capricious. Again, you should not put yourself in a place. Now, even if the intentions were pure, and a do Attorney General and I Nasem Kayamide because of Justice Rimsai, the former constitutional law lecturer who is also a friend, a very good friend, Nasem Kayamide. But I must say this in the interest of governance. Even if the intentions were pure, now clearly it appears as conflict of interest. If so, you're Attorney General, now be catcher you say, "Oh, now you defense attorney for a client, and now be Attorney General into a case anymore." Again, Minister no, Attorney General make a point to the fact that why is the minister being held liable for technical construction errors, and that they relied on expert and cannot be expected say ombe detected a false interim payment certificate. Now, I don't agree with the Attorney General. The Constitution disagrees with you because the preamble of the Constitution demands probity and accountability. Attorney General, you are aware. Your friend may be a vicarious liability, ultimate responsibility. Now, this is a case where Attorney General under Ayi, Yankongo read Article 67, Article 76. Article 76. Article 76 says, the cabinet shall assist the president in determination of general policy of government. The cabinet, it's the Attorney General, who are part of cabinet. Although you are a minister may not be a technical engineer, but they are custodians of public funds. If it's a minister, no, and there's one sign. So they are responsible. So mobile oversight responsibility. Ama every adebia edebromo a Jessica free the public in hall. It is an Attorney General Bekachere said there were technical errors and infractions, and for that matter, the minister na yedi public funds and no manano. Or no any oversight responsibility. We cannot hold them into accountable. What kind of logic is this, Attorney General? So Okatakyie said, Collins Dowda, no a minister, and on the advice of technical people, it will release this Sikano, and for that matter, he cannot be held a year liable. Ignorance is not a defense. The fact that he did not know said there was error cannot be a defense for him. Ignorance can clearly not be a defense. So Attorney General Beka said it was Attorney General, please respectfully, this your position is a bit worrying. You are becoming more of a media general than Attorney General. Respectfully said, you are becoming more of a media general than Attorney General. Again, Attorney General says it is reckless, unethical, and waste of state resources to pursue a case he believes the state may lose. But justice to me is not a gamble. Attorney General, what the man for court on it is not just about CIG Sika. That is why I have a problem with a yewo opposition. What take say and grofo we are man for Nisika or mobile plea bargain. No more than 70%, 60% bar obeje. It is worrying. Because one of the fundamental principle of punishment is a deterrence. Attorney General, justice is a duty. And one of the fundamental principle of punishment, say you do be a court, you punish nipa no. And yen nipa no be sofane nkwanti ani hiaye. Nemo say be serve as a deterrence, nema afoforo kon no so mo be wie sika. Now, with the current posture of the Attorney General, where man for years ago also was negotiating with them for plea bargaining and a fire here, it you can't say do for Abba wabetrias kenibi it me so wonko. Any other sadia minya kwana me baba public officer. All I have to do is that I say me we sikani bebre. Na me we bebre na oba na achemia. Me se plea bargaining me 70% na macheko. So it is not just about a year punishing nipana na year sika, but the public interest demands a trial not merely for conviction, but also to establish a record, to expose the wrongdoing, to protect the public purse. That is what we are talking about. If it's a constitution about probity, accountability, social justice in the account, the only way you can deter people and uphold the sovereign will of the people, which is here exposing a wrongdoing, which is here protecting the public purse, it is about prosecuting the people just so the others will not have an incentive to get into such matters. So although dropping cases may save money, as you are saying, it may help the exchequer, but it does not help justice. It does not help accountability. It does not help Ghana Attorney General. So please, this analogy is very bad. Your stance is very bad. It's a weak stance. If indeed you want to, medical can say MPP ni bia ria manfonwa monjeli ni pano. And MPP ni bia no e ba supporting kwasi asem. Se minya akwanya se meso manfo na me wie no me ria manfo na monjeli me. I must be able to be responsible for my own actions. So the Constitution of Ghana is not just a suggestion. It is not optional. Attorney General, you cannot come and sit here and say that you must prosecute the people. Because the Constitution is the supreme law of Ghana. And when the Attorney General's actions or inactions appear to contradict the Constitution, yen prosecuting Crawford to serve as a deterrent. For me, Ghana deserves better. Ghana deserves a transparent government. Ghana deserves accountability. The Attorney General position way is very wrong. You need to move away from it. You cannot treat this business as usual. Say Attorney General say. Attorney General say. Just the same side, please tell your boss. I know say now no call haka crowd fetch. And I know call haka crowd fetch in Nigeria. But in the interest of governance, some of these conversations must be had. With the greatest of respect to the Attorney General, with the greatest of respect to you, Justice Rimsai, I don't seek to undermine the authority of the Attorney General, but I believe that it is worrying. The position that your boss and your institution, your edifice is taking is a bit worrying. It needs to be checked. But it needs to be checked. And the Attorney General, whether we like it or yes, clearly, you need to prosecute these cases. You need to prosecute them. You're moving away from a year Attorney General and Seminona. Let's go and check Bank of Ghana leakage via leaked report from Bank of Ghana, which suggests that Bank of Ghana recapitalization of banks. Recapitalization of banks. Now, recapitalization of banks, you will start the relevant questions. Recapitalization of microfinance institutions. Recapitalization. The questions that needs to be asked, we are going to ask the very important questions. Bank of Ghana, Yahunu be paying. Mo yes, I deal we. Emma, a year banks in be ye weak. Now banks in be ye weak, Ana kufu ado ne na aban de omo bete ye be kulusi. Obekaya ɛno bi na ɔmkɔma yes menso tabel ni ade sika capital bank ni ade coffee fast ndc aman jomama na de ma omo. Now leaked report shows that Bank of Ghana saw a recapitalization of banks. Almost microfinance institutions. Almost no, because almost say a good for the pencil NDC 4. So we are asking the questions. The issue of Ponzi schemes, Yakai men's good. Yakai a year back home friends say, okay, so this is the report. Elikia, yeah, now, oh, sorry, Bank of Ghana reporter Elikia Yeye. I've sent my people to do a lot of work. They are going to, but we're asking the questions. Men's go DNA bin now for the microfinance institutions. Yeah, we start the relevant questions. DKM DNA bin now. You will start the relevant questions. Now, Bank of Ghana see new reforms say and now it's just a takeover because almost you microfinance no more hono. Omo ye MPP for nti enya recapitalization. Nefa he ne kosi he. What is the real objectives? Ye de ni di akiri. Now is there a way to acquire control over private institutions and ade be ya? Ni nyina ye de ni e di akiri. NDC and they demonize the banking sector. NDC call it reckless. They call it political. It will maba no so mo ye recapitalization. Esi ehwe ni ye de ni di akiri. Ombe wie no mo pese say movie the baseline capital of a year microfinance. Normally akosoro. Afi na nkomo no twetwemba. We are going to have the conversation into detail in the coming days. The Bank of Ghana untimi mfa nkoma. You do not need to proceed. Says reforms and be good by microfinance. Where a leaked report from Bank of Ghana. If a big good microfinancer, you cannot proceed. And as a money be cheskedia, ye de ni di akiri. We will be ensuru bia money be cheskedi so a ye de ni e di akiri. Eti kind of the records are there. Let's recap what we did tonight. Tonight we were able to prove that although NDC say omotwa John Mama ban also omotwa eye COVID-19 levy mu. Na enso me no ka say omguso a eje COVID-19 levy no. Enti Killnet aban. Me no ka say Gold board ebe kachere so Bank of Ghana so Ghana boka abno se asare as subjected the governor of Bank of Ghana when to me improve see a boka Akufo-Addo pencil good for reserve it a Killnet aban. We were able to prove to you tonight say between NPP and NDC the most corrupt political party enye NPP it is NDC. Again we were able to prove to you tonight that Attorney General anya na adwene so obe fight corruption. Media prosecution yen the chance so obe into the docket, obe into a court. No akọ face court no the evidence akọ. Media prosecutions yen the chance aha for the records. Meeting Okatakyie Afrifa Mensa. We keep on bringing you the wo wadwene enko so. Ye bie wani ekọ baabi a wo wani enko ye. Sebeya Killnet abayin timin tum futuro enwani. I came just to serve you and maybe I'm the Thank you. Bye bye.